Now, the COVID-19 outbreak of what we thought might blow over, unfortunately, has started to really melt its way into our economy and really implement that flow-on effect into all industries nationwide. So although there is a massive negative ramification of this, today I wanted to identify some of the positive opportunities that individuals and business owners can ultimately leverage when things do start to revert back to normal. I'm going to be talking to 3 points: employees, business owners, and investors, and ultimately, as I said, identify those silver linings of this situation and how we can implement this time to develop ourselves or our businesses. Now, firstly, employees. So this can be segmented into 2 sections. The first is people working from home. Now, this is people that are still working at their same employer, maybe a slight reduction in hours, but pretty much in the same capacity that they were prior to the outbreak. And what this is giving, it is a very unique time, and it's allowing us as employees to ultimately assert our value to our employer and really show that despite these unconventional working conditions, we can still add value to the business and to our superiors. So it allows us to actually show that even in smooth sailing, we are able to do our job. And then when things get choppy, we're still able to provide value. What this is going to do is increase your employees' perception of you. And ultimately, when things get tough, they know to look to you, which is a huge asset for employees to have in their employees. Secondly is people out of work or working from a considerable reduction in their existing capacity. So, although this is a terrible notion, what it's providing these individuals is an increase in spare time. So they can either use this time to sit down, watch Netflix, and eat Doritos, or you can start reading and developing and upskilling so that when things do inevitably revert back to normality, you're able to add more value than you could have previously in the existing sector that you're already in. Or alternatively, it's an opportune time to ultimately pivot and change career paths. If there's something you've always been passionate about and you just haven't had the opportunity or didn't have the confidence to ultimately let go of an opportunity that you're already in. Now, the second point is business owners. Now, business owners are going through a very tough time, particularly those that have been forced by government policies to ultimately shut down their operation. But what this is providing business owners is more time to actually work on their business. Now, this is something I hear from business owners a lot, that they just don't have the time to be working on their business because they're constantly focusing on the operational processes that are ingrained in operating a business. So what this has done is giving you the time to work on your business, and I believe this outbreak is really going to change the consumer climate into a more digital-focused consumer climate. Now, it is without a doubt this was already occurring, but I think this is really going to kick on that transition and increase the necessity for businesses to have a refined and optimized digital offering. Now, there's 3 key areas that I believe should be identified when you begin to work on your business's digital offering. That's your website, your CRM, and your social media. Now, I think your website is probably the first thing, if you haven't already, is something you can optimize, whether that's adding a new blog post, updating the photos on there, or just refining your copy. There's little bits and pieces that every business owner can do to make their website more professional and in turn increase the conversion rate of that digital asset. Your second is your CRM. Now, this allows you to actually generate an intimate relationship with your consumer, and ultimately when they are ultimately generate a know, like, and trust relationship. So this suggests that when they are beginning to know, like, and trust your business, they're more inclined to purchase from your brand. So in turn, although you might not be getting the conversions at this time based on the more macroeconomic climate, you'll be able to forge those relationships. So when things do inevitably revert back to normality, you will be positioned to ultimately acquire that conversion. And finally is your top of your funnel. It's your social media. So your social media is obviously where a lot of people discover new brands in today's day and age. So, and a lot of businesses have kind of neglected the notion of refining, optimizing their social media. So even if you're just simply re-uploading old posts, or it's really just staying top of mind in this time of kind of slowness in the economy. You really want to stay top of mind for your consumers so that when things do revert back, then you're the business that they have been itching to see and get out of isolation to purchase from. Now, the final point is investors. Now, it's undoubtedly that the broader economy has taken a massive hit as a result of this health crisis that has occurred. But what's unfolded on top of that is a financial crisis. I think the best way to really sum up this point is a famous quote by Warren Buffett. It's be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. So yes, although businesses have in some places absolutely capitulated, a lot of the time the business's fundamentals have remained intact and they're still positioned to weather the storm and come out the other end. So the price has declined, but the value has still stayed quite strong. So for individuals and businesses that have the capacity to acquire new assets that'll actually increase the value that their broader business or individual portfolio can present, will allow them to be positioned to capitalize on the inevitable upswing that's going to follow this terrible downfall. So I really hope you guys got a heap of value from this, and if you've got any questions about anything, particularly digital offering or how you can take advantage of this current climate, I'd really be interested to hear. I'd also love to hear how your business is kind of standing up in the wake of current events and how you've identified opportunities in the current environment. Thanks, guys.